Hello everyone, and welcome to my little report from Partizan 2024 that took place at Newark Showground on Sunday the 19th of May 2024. What a fantastic day. I keep saying this about the Partizan shows, but really what a fantastic day. The tradition of the weather being more than just good was maintained, despite the fact that the weather kind of either side of the weekend has been a bit dodgy. But there we go. On Sunday the 19th, the sun shone, and my goodness me, the crowds really did turn up. I gather from Lawrence that it was probably a record attendance. They were still counting. I think they'd reached 1,350 or something by the time I bumped into Lawrence. So whether it climbed higher than that, I'm not sure. But all I do know is by the time I got there at 9:30 and strolled into the hall, the queues were already incredibly long, and they were going pretty much round the block. Quite extraordinary, but fantastic. I'm so pleased for Trix and Lawrence, who put so much work into organising these shows, to the point where if this trend continues, they're going to have to consider additional space of one kind or another. I think certainly to accommodate more games potentially, because Trix was telling me he's actually had to turn games down this year. There were so many people who wanted to put on games, which is fantastic news. The other thing I can report is, as you'll see in the photos, I think the average table size for games has expanded in the last few years by probably a good 3 to 6 feet in length. There were some enormous tables there, and lots of them. And at the other end of the scale, there were some really tiny ones. What can I say? Just amazing. The variety of games was incredible. The quality of the games now is just amazing. I mean, virtually all the games looked really good, and the ones that weren't in the same sort of aesthetic style were mostly kind of more abstracted games anyway, so it, didn't really matter. But certainly, as one of the people tasked with judging the quality of the games, I was just blown away, and it was really hard making decisions. So anyway, decisions were made, and we're going to give thanks to, I've got a little list here because I'm old now and I might forget. There are a number of awards. One that I don't remember giving before, which was the Bruce Quarry Award for a game that was 6 foot by 4 foot or less in size. And there were a few of those. But the one who came out on top was John Savage. He was actually in the Lard Zone doing an adaptation of What a Cowboy, and it looked fantastic. Welcome to the Jungle, it was called, with some sort of kind of cartel of baddies with an aircraft getting ready to make its escape, and all sorts of stuff. It was brilliantly done, and you'll see plenty of pictures of it. So well done to John. The best participation game. Wow. Charles Roundtree. He's built quite a reputation in recent years of just putting on the most staggeringly, extraordinarily beautiful participation games and involving lots and lots of people in them. And this year, wow, he just went all guns blazing. Bloody Omaha Beach, in very small scale, with every time I passed there was about 9 or 10 people participating all at once. When you see the pictures, you'll understand what I'm talking about. It was just phenomenal. And so best participation game went to him. No trouble in judging that one. Then when it came to the other end of the hall, we're talking about demonstration games and stuff. There was some fabulous looking games of all kinds, all periods of history, ancients, medievals, Renaissance, various. And I want to kind of give a heads up, because there was some wonderful kind of unusual wars being shown. Obviously there's Ken, Yorkshire gamer with Mentana. That was fascinating, from the kind of the era of Garibaldi, and there was Mexican-American War stuff and lots of World War II and just mouth-watering stuff. As I say, the standard has just been phenomenal this year. Actually, we gave this award for best demo to one of the smaller games, but small but beautifully formed, to a name that many people will know because he used to win awards going back to the earlier days of Partizan. Phil Ollie. Well done, Phil, with his lovely little action at action, a kind of little imaginations game based on action from the war game. And what beautifully done, lots of Cossacks and Tartars and that kind of stuff in long swaying grass and things blowing up. And it was just, I think I and the other judges gave it a description of kind of cinematic. It was just, there was something really arresting about it. Lots of supporting materials, and Phil and his good lady just non-stop all day paying attention to the visiting public and making sure that they understood what he was doing and what he was trying to achieve. And it was just what a demo game should be. Lots of extra materials and basically focusing on the people coming to the show and telling them what it's all about. No backs on show at that game, I can tell you. Brilliantly done. And then before we get to the best in show, let's talk about the best vignette. Now, I didn't judge this one. This was Ali Morrison and Dave Andrews. That's their job to award the Adrian Shepherd Award. Adrian Shepherd sadly departed, but this award is in his name for the best vignette. And there was an amazing game that was a real contender for kind of best in show, best demo, by the League of Extraordinary Wargamers. It showed Fiume in 1920, and you'll see the pictures. You'll recognise it instantly because of the large scale buildings and the big ship in the harbour. It looked brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But in amongst all the lovely stuff that there was to look at in that game, there was a particular little cluster of vignettes, actually. I think that there was more than one thing in there that could have kind of grabbed the award. And so it went to the League of Extraordinary Kriegspielers for the vignette in that game. Well done them. When it comes to best in show, well, again, they've got a reputation for just putting on the most extraordinary, lavish games with hundreds and hundreds, thousands probably, of figures, focusing on the colonies in the mid 19th century and kind of the era of Lucknow and that kind of stuff. And so it was the Boondock Saints who won the best in show with a game, you'll see it, elephants, civilians, amazing buildings, in beautiful terrain, and everywhere you looked in that game there was something to see. There were little Easter eggs everywhere, even down to some of the rooms inside the buildings being tiled inside the rooms. That's how much attention to detail there was. Quite extraordinary and beautiful to look at. And as always, the Boondock guys are really good at chatting with people and getting people involved and helping them to understand what the hell's going on in their big and complex looking games. So congratulations to all those people. And of course, I want to say a huge thank you to Trix and Lawrence, who organised the show, and bless their hearts, they sponsor me to go and produce reports like this. So that was, very kind of them again, and I was more than happy to be there and delighted to be able to contribute by taking photos and help with the judging and that kind of stuff. It was hot. It was packed. I mean, the extra visitors, as I say, I'm not sure entirely how many they were, but it almost seemed like there were twice as many people as at the last Partizan, which I'm sure isn't the case, but it was definitely very, very busy. The traders were doing fantastic trade by the looks of things, and we'll hear from them in due course, I'm sure, once they've had a chance to have a lie down, because all the traders I looked at, they were just busy all day. There was no respite. So I hope that they've had a really good day. Lots of discussion points which may well come up in some of my podcasts in the not too distant future. There are some people I want to have a talk to. But before I go, there's just one person I want to give a special mention to. He'll probably be mortified and embarrassed about this, but those of us who still frequent Twitter, X, call it what you will, know that there's a chap in our hobby who is going through a lot of stuff at the moment, and has been suffering from cancer for a while, and has been incredibly brave, and is, enduring, as I know, as someone who's been through cancer, enduring everything that the NHS can throw at him in terms of treatments, and not all those treatments are pleasant, and he's been living with kind of life-altering conditions. And I just want to mention Ken Hanning. Ken, it was so lovely to see you there. I'm so glad you were able to make it down from bonnie Scotland down to Nottinghamshire for the day. It was truly lovely to meet you. You're an inspiring guy, Ken. I know that you're terribly, terribly modest, but there's an awful lot of people who are looking at your fortitude in these difficult times that you've been facing, and we've got nothing but admiration and care for you, Ken. So wishing you all the best, and I'm sure I speak on behalf of the entire wargaming community that it was really lovely to see you there. And of course there are other people who have been suffering all kinds of things. A lot of us aren't getting any younger, and so they should include themselves in my heartfelt thoughts going out to them as well. Anyway, everyone, I hope that you enjoy this little thing I kind of throw together when I get back. It was a long weekend for me. I actually didn't drive back until the Monday, and it was a long, hot drive. And those of us who have to negotiate the M25 will understand when I say that some of the journey was testing. A lot of that kind of, you're doing 70. Suddenly we're all at a standstill on the M25 in boiling hot weather. The thermometer in my car was saying it was in the high 20s degrees centigrade on the tarmac there. So yeah, I was pretty tired by the time I got back, but here we are. I hope you enjoy my report, and what can I say? Again, congratulations to Lawrence and Trix for another hugely successful show. And, well, I'm looking forward to the other Partizan in October. And, folks, I hope to see you there. So until then, take care.